国来，就是我们这位牧师义务牧师Nicky Chater， 我们欢迎他。
I am very pleased to be with you, and I thank you for your kind invitation for me to preach.
很高兴来跟大家相聚在一起，也感谢你们我来这里讲道。
You may know that my daughter Harriet came to Taiwan with her father a couple of years ago, and afterwards, one of the things she kept telling the rest of the family with her father and all our friends was how very much they felt welcomed and how gracious was the hospitality they'd experienced. And we appreciate this very much.
也许你们有人知道，2年前我的女儿 Harriet 和她的父亲来过台湾。从那时候起，他们俩就常常告诉家人以及朋友说，台湾人真是热情啊！他们确实感受到台湾朋友对他们的热情款待，我们为此深表谢意。
When we were planning our visit, Catherine suggested that I might share something from my work as a medical doctor and an Anglican priest, and perhaps link it to today's Gospel from Luke, the story of Martha and Mary.
当我们计划来台湾旅游的时候 ，Catherine 建议我，针对我身为医师以及圣公中牧师的工作，我可以跟大家做个分享。可能的话，也拿我的工作心得来跟今天的路加福音书马大与玛利亚的故事做一个连结。
So just as you in Taiwan place importance on hospitality, so did the community that Jesus lived in. We get a number of stories from the Gospel of him being a guest and sharing a meal with people.
就如同住在台湾的你们，对于来宾总是热情款待。当初耶稣所住的地方也相当重视接待宾客。从福音书当中，我们可以看到好多个耶稣做客、与人同席用餐的故事。
We even have an account also in Luke 7:44 to 50, of a very disturbing occasion when he drew attention to the rudeness and the lack of care shown to him by his host, a local religious leader called Simon, and he contrasted that with the care and attention given to him during the visit by a woman, and not just any woman, but one who had a very bad reputation among the community.
同样是在路加福音里，路加福音7章44到50节，我们还看到这样一则记载，说在某一个纷扰的场合，耶稣引人注意，指出了招待他的当地宗教领袖西门粗俗无礼，招待不周，反而是有一位声名狼藉的妇女，当耶稣来访时，给予更多的照顾。跟西门形成了强烈对比。
Jesus seems to have had a habit of sometimes surprising and disturbing people by the way he reacted differently from how good manners and established social and religious etiquette said that he should. I think this short passage about Martha and Mary that we heard is one of those times. And I wonder whether perhaps it is recorded because it was very unusual, even shocking.
有时候耶稣会用一些跟平常不一样，也就是不符合既有社会规范或宗教礼仪的方式，来引起人们注意，让人觉得惊讶。今天我们所听到的马大和玛利亚的故事，就是这样一个类似的情况。我心里想，或许正因为这一个故事的情节特殊，令人惊讶，故事才会被记录下来吧。
Martha was doing her job as a host, and she put in a lot of effort to make sure that she was a very good host.
这一天，马大的工作是做东，他非常卖力的要扮演好东家，也就是主人的角色。
We know that a good welcome, like the welcome that you have given to us, does not just happen, It takes planning and quite a lot of work.
我们知道，热情招待宾客，就像你们欢迎我们、接待我们，其实是煞费苦心的事情。除了用心规划，还得花很多时间和心力来执行。
Hospitality dictated that guests should feel well cared for, but be almost unaware of all the effort that had been put in. Food and drink would be smoothly offered, enough so that the guests felt there was plenty. A lot of work would have been necessary to prepare things. And it was the place of women to be behind the scenes, working and serving.
主人家热情招待，当客人的当会感受到关怀和照顾，但这其中投入了多少心力，公家付出了多少，宾客未必能够清楚。只见吃的喝的一样样顺畅地提供出来，宾客享用之余心满意足。而这当中有多少准备工作要做啊？尤其身为妇女的，常是幕后工程。辛苦承担了许多工作。
Martha was apparently seeing to all the work by herself, and according to the normal practice, it was not fair or even socially correct that her sister should be sitting with the guests, listening while Jesus taught. Eventually, Martha had had enough and took the very bold step of appealing to Jesus to ask her sister to do what was right.To give Martha some help.
今天的要角之一，马大显然就是依照惯例辛苦工作的人。他一个人忙着料理食物，而他的妹妹玛利亚却坐在宾客之间，听着耶稣讲话。这当然是不公平，也不符合社会的常态。终于，马大受不了了，提起了勇气，向耶稣申诉抱怨一番，说妹妹也当尽其本分，来厨房帮忙忙。
Martha could not have expected his response. It reads quite abruptly, almost sharply. What did Jesus mean by it?
而耶稣的回答显然出乎马大的预料。这段耶稣回应的经文读起来确实有那么一点唐突，甚至有点尖锐。不过，耶稣的话语是什么意思呢？
Often we understand the story as a reminder that we too should make time to be still with Jesus, rather than rushing around being very busy doing things, even if they are very good things. And this is good, but I wonder, is there something more we can learn?
通常我们会把这个故事当作一个提醒，就是说，你我在百忙之中，也应当抽出时间来静静地与耶稣相聚在一起。哪怕手边要做的、要忙的，也都是正事好事。这个提醒是对的。不过，是不是这个故事还有其他的含义呢？
I don't think that Jesus was saying that hospitality is not important. Rather, that although it was important, very important, there was something happening that was rare and special, which Mary had recognized and responded to, and Jesus was not going to crush that. To behave as she did went against much that Mary had experienced and learned through her life. It might even have embarrassed the other guests.
我不认为耶稣说的是热情招待不重要，相反的，接待宾客很重要。虽然重要，但是还有更为可贵、极其特殊的事情，就如同玛利亚所做的，主耶稣并不制止，反而嘉许。玛利亚当时所做的，跟她先前所学、所体验的大概格格不入，搞不好还令其他在场的宾客都觉得尴尬呢。
So here's something I suggest we can think about from the story. Are we free to recognize and respond to unusual circumstances and events from God, even when they seem to go against the usual social norms or accepted wisdom and practice? We need to be careful and discerning, but also open. We may get things wrong sometimes, but perhaps that is better than never changing or taking a risk.
所以我说，从这个故事，我们或许可以进一步思索，学到一些什么。 请问我们能否很自在地认清楚，而且回应来自上帝的特殊安排呢？特别是那些安排与社会的常态或一般的认知有落差、相抵触的时候，我们能自在地回应吗？当然，我们要仔细分辨，也要有开放的心。也许有些时候我们会有所误判，把事情给搞砸了，但是那总比墨守成规、始终不敢或不知变通还来得好。
In my medical work, I specialize in neurological rehabilitation. Some of the patients have had a brain injury. Others were born with problems that affect their nervous system, and some have progressive neurological damage, which means they gradually get worse. I have worked in this field for at least 20 years, and around 12 years ago, I began to explore what I thought might be a call from God to train as a priest, but to use being a priest in my work as a doctor.
在我的医疗工作上，我的专业是神经复健科。有些病人脑部受伤，有些生来就有神经系统方面的问题，还有一些患有进行性神经损伤，意思是说病情会越来越严重。我在这个领域服务了20多年，大概在12年前，我开始感到有神的呼召，决志接受培训，成为一位牧师。但是要把牧师的角色和医师的角色相结合，用在我的医疗工作中。
This seemed quite different from my ideas and understanding about the work of a priest. It also seemed to go against some ideas and teachings about good practice as a doctor. In recent years in the UK, there have been some nurses and doctors who have been disciplined for misusing their place of trust by speaking to people about their Christian faith.
这一点跟我原先对于牧师职分的理解很不相同，也跟医师本业的某些理念或专业训练有所抵触。近年来，英国就有一些护士和医师因为误用、滥用了医师职分，对病人谈论基督信仰而受到惩处。
I felt drawn to offer to train as a priest, so that I could have something to offer people which they could understand and respond to if a spiritual matter came up in conversation during my work with them as a doctor.
多年前，我有所感动，愿意接受栽培，成为一位牧师，目的是在医疗工作。当我跟病人谈话，如果有属灵的课题或问题出现在交谈当中，那么我就可能提供一些他们可以理解也愿意回应的东西。
I would have to work very differently from a normal priest, keeping my ordination out of things, and not usually expecting to talk about faith or religion unless it was clearly the patient's desire to do so.
我跟一般教会的牧师工作方式不同，我不谈圣职人员案例啦、风例啦的事情，通常也不会讨论宗教信仰，除非我的患者、顾客明显想要谈论。
This is because it is important not to take advantage of people in a vulnerable position and misuse my position to try and influence their beliefs or practice. So I would not seek to evangelize or to convert people, and I would respect the views of people of all faiths and people who had no faith.
这样做是为了顾及不要误用、滥用医师职分，以影响或侵犯病患的信仰这一条规定。我不勉强传福音或替人施洗，我得尊重所有人的见解，包括相信其他宗教以及没有任何信仰的人。
I tested the idea with the leaders in the church and with my employers. I didn't know where this might lead, and I was very surprised to find my employers and the church leaders supported the idea. I started training part-time for a year or so, but my employers also permitted me to take a year to go to theological college, full-time, for part of my training, and agreed to keep my job open for me to afterwards.
我拿这样的观点去请教教会的领袖，也请教我的工作主管。 起初我并不清楚他们会如何带领我，没想到我的老板连同教会的领袖都非常支持我的看法。于是我开始1年左右的 part-time 在职培训，接着我的老板还特准我留职停薪1年去念神学院，那是牧师培训的一部分。念完了书再回来继续上班。
So here I am trying to juggle my different roles as a wife and a mother, a doctor and a priest. Sometimes I find it very hard to get things right. Sometimes I feel a bit like Martha, overwhelmed with trying to manage everything. And I can, like Martha, complain that things aren't fair.
就这样，我现在同时扮演着多重身份，为人妻、为人母，当医师、做牧师。有时候觉得很难兼顾各种不同的角色，有时候也感觉我有点像马大，忙着处理许许多多的事情，而不免也像马大一样诉苦唠叨一下，抱怨人事物的不公平。
It is important that I have the prayer and the support of the church, and that I give time to prayer myself. It would also be very easy to let myself get caught up with being busy in church, or busy as a doctor, and not give myself enough time to be with my family or to rest.
很重要的，我一来需要教会的代祷和支持，二来我本身也必须花时间祈祷，却也常常因为医院的工作或教会的事工，让我忙得不可开交，以至于没有足够的时间可以陪家人或者休息。
I'm learning that I need to take time to pray, to study, and to reflect on what it might mean to be a priest in my work as a doctor. The role is not well understood by many clergy, and sometimes I catch myself thinking that I'm not being a proper priest, especially if I compare my work to all that other priests are doing.
现在我还在学习善用时间祈祷，学习反省医师兼牧师的可能意义。这医师兼牧师的角色，没有多少牧者能够深入了解。有时候连我自己都起了疑问：我究竟能当一个称职的牧师吗？尤其当我把我自己的工作拿来跟其他牧师做比较的时候，这疑问就变大了。
What am I doing? I dress in my normal work clothes and I don't wear a clerical collar. At work, I try and remember to pray. If I'm in early enough, I will spend a short time saying the daily office and use an app on my phone or the computer, and I quietly commit the clinic ahead and the day's activities to God. I will pray in my mind sometimes for help and guidance during an appointment.
我通常做些什么呢？我平常穿的是一般的工作服，不是牧师服。牧师服上头通常有佩戴硬白领。上班日我尽量不忘祈祷，如果找到时间还够的话，我会利用手机或电脑的 APP 应用软体，把当天的日课，就是晨祷、午祷默念一遍，并把整间当天的活动借由祈祷交托给上帝。与患者约谈的时候，我偶尔也会暗自祈祷，求主帮助、赐下指引。
Most of the time at work, nothing will happen that will make use of my being ordained. I may even forget that I am a priest, but sometimes this changes and I need to respond as best I can. I have, for example, organised a remembrance service at work for the staff and patients when a physiotherapy colleague died unexpectedly. I supported the staff in their desire to do this and liaised with the hospital chaplaincy team and the managers.
我的牧师身份在上班的时候多半派不上用场，我甚至会忘了自己是个牧师。不过情况有时一转变，我就必须尽我所能做一个好牧者了。例如有一次，有位物理治疗的同仁突然间过世，我就应员工及病人的要求，为他主办了一场追思礼拜。我与医院的经营者和院牧团队密切联系，借以支援全体员工的需求。
At various times, I've had curious colleagues ask me all kinds of questions about faith and religion because they feel able to. They ask things that they would never feel comfortable asking a vicar or a priest in any other setting because they know me. We've had discussions about marriage, about what blessing means, about baptism, about death, and about the afterlife.
在不同的时间里，会有好奇的同仁问我各式各样关于信仰和宗教活动的问题。他们觉得问我很方便，因为他们认识我。他们会问一些不好意思去问教会牧师的问题，好比说关于婚姻、关于祝福的真义、关于洗礼、关于死亡，还有死后来生的课题，都曾经谈论过，真的是无所不谈。
My work takes me out and about, sometimes into homes or day centres or other hospitals. I once shared communion with a family and a patient in their home following a medical appointment. And afterwards the family told me that it had been several years since they had last attended church, and longer since they all prayed together.
由于工作的缘故，我必须四处走动，有时到病人家里，有时到日托中心，有时到别的医院。有一次，我在预约诊疗之后，就在病人的家与他们全家人共享圣餐。然后他们的家人告诉我，他们已经好几年没上教堂了，而更久的时间，他们不曾聚在一起祷告。
I've been asked to help lead a funeral service for one patient, and I've prayed with others, including a distressed and confused elderly lady, using words from her Roman Catholic background, and I watched as she relaxed like a child cuddled by somebody they love, as the familiar words reached through her confusion. Later, she told her family that a doctor had come, given her some treatment and prayed with her, and they thought she must have been having hallucinations.
曾经有人要我为一个病故的人主持丧礼，我与大家包括一位伤心欲绝的天主教背景的老太太一同祈祷。祈祷后，我看见那位老太太心情恢复平静，就像一个小小孩那样，依偎在众人所爱的某个人身上。我心里想，那熟悉的祷词已经深深触动，并且安慰了他的心灵。后来，他告诉他的家人说，有一个医师来过，给了他治疗，还跟他一同祈祷。许多人都认为那位老太太一定是出现幻觉了。
I try and make sure that I'm responding to any nudges that might be from the Holy Spirit, and to work to the patient's agenda and not mine. Sometimes I will ask, is spirituality or faith important in helping you manage your life and your concerns? If they say no, then I will not continue with the topic. But if they say yes, then I will ask if they have all the support they need in their spirituality or faith.
我尽量做到，我是回应来自圣灵的碰触和提点。我在服务病人，而不是在服务我自己。有时候我会问我的病人：灵性对你而言重要吗？信仰对于管理你的生活、处理你所关注的事物有没有帮助呢？如果他们回答说 no， 那么我就不再继续这个话题。如果他们说 yes， 那么我就会问他是否已经从信仰或灵性得到所需要的一切支持呢？
Having a progressive or life-threatening disorder can challenge people's belief or make it hard for them to get out and about, and they become isolated. I will sometimes say to a person, I have a habit of praying. Will it be okay if I remember you or your loved one when I pray? And I find that most people are pleased to accept this offer.
说真的，一个人若患有逐渐恶化或可能致命的疾病，他的信心势必受到极大的挑战。要叫他从孤立的情境中走出来，其实很难。有时我会对人说：我有祈祷的习惯。假如我把你或你所爱的放入我的祈祷中，你说好不好？我发现大多数的人都会接受这样的建议。
I believe that it is important for me to respect all faiths, and people who say they do not have any faith. If somebody is talking to me about their beliefs, then I try to listen with interest. I do not look for opportunities to convert people, because I have discovered that this is the Holy Spirit's work and not mine. But I try to listen with respect and to pray as I listen and not to judge.
我相信每一个人，包括那些不同信仰的，还有那些自认没有信仰的人，都值得尊重，这是很重要的。如果有谁对我提到他的信仰，我会欣然聆听。我不强求改变他人的信仰，因为我发现这属于圣灵的工作，不是我的工作。我只是抱着尊重的态度去聆听，听的时候我默默祈祷，但不加以论断。
I've had some unexpected conversations. For example, 2 different patients talked to me about going to a spiritualist church or using a medium. I've accepted a book from a Hindu colleague explaining his faith, and I've listened while a Muslim talked about how to please God.
我有过好几次出乎意料的交谈，例如有2位病人告诉我，他们去过一个巫师教会，灵媒教会、灵媒教堂什么的。我的一位印度同事也借给我一本书，解释了他的印度教信仰。另外，我也听过一个回教徒穆斯林谈到该如何让上帝阿拉高兴。
Sometimes in return, I may be asked to share some part of my faith. A colleague recently asked to borrow a book telling the story of a small boy's account of a near-death experience and his understanding of heaven and meeting Jesus. This was after my colleague shared with me about her belief in angels and the comfort that she and her mother had experienced from this after her father had died.
有些时候，他们反过来也要我分享我的信仰。我有一位同事最近就向我借了一本书，书中的故事是关于一个小男孩，他濒临死亡的经验，他看见天堂，他遇见耶稣这整个经过。这位女同事跟我借书是在她父亲过世之后，她还分享了自己和她母亲因为相信天使存在而心有慰藉的领悟。
My Hindu colleague who'd lent me his book accepted a book in return by N.T. Wright, explaining who Jesus is. My colleague enjoyed reading it.
我那一位借我书的印度同事，后来也接受我给他的一本汤姆赖特教授所写的书，内容是耶稣是谁，他念得津津有味。
One of the patients who'd spoken to me about her spiritualism accepted a suggestion that she might re-explore her childhood Catholic faith after she'd begun to doubt the spiritualism that she practiced.
另外，先前提到过，去过巫师教堂、灵媒教会的那2个病人，其中有一位已经不再去那种教堂，他听了我的建议，有意重新拾回他小时候的天主教信仰。
Our gospel reading of the story of Martha and Mary seems to fit very well with what I've shared with you today about being a priest and a doctor.
今天马大和玛利亚的福音故事拿来跟我所分享的，我身兼医师和牧师的情况相比拟，似乎再适合不过了。
I've been strongly reminded as I prepared for this sermon that sometimes I can be rather like Martha, so busy doing good things that I may not keep time for sitting with Jesus in prayer, or resting, or having fun with family and friends.
我准备这篇讲道稿的时候，心里强烈地感受到，有时候我跟马大还蛮像的，为了世俗的正事好事，忙忙碌碌，差点儿没能好好坐下来，向主耶稣祷告，或好好休息，或好好陪伴家人及朋友。
I've also been reminded to be a bit more like Mary and to keep an eye open for a rare and special opportunity from Jesus.
总而言之，我也被提醒要多向玛利亚学习，希望能多向她一点， 时时刻刻定睛于从主而来的珍贵又特别的机会。
Sometimes such an opportunity might go against what is usually expected or socially accepted. Mary was quite courageous. She took the opportunity and she didn't let what her sister said or what the other guest might have thought stop her.
这种机会有时或许超乎一般大众的预期，或许违背社会传统的规范，而玛利亚却很有勇气，她把握住机会，没有因为姐姐的话语或其他宾客的想法而胆怯畏缩，裹足不前。玛利亚能够如此积极回应，主耶稣自然欢喜，也就对她赞许有加了。从这个故事，我们是不是也学到了些什么？
Mary was able to respond, and Jesus was very pleased with her. Perhaps there is something in this for all of us.
这一段我已经念过了，就是玛利亚能够如此的积极回应，耶稣就很快乐的对她赞许有加。我们从这个故事是不是可以学到一些什么？
Thank you.
谢谢。